I'm Ryan Benson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Neil Wood.
We are PopCulturists. And look, the last couple of months of 2016 was pretty chaotic to say the least.
Fucking...
No, like you work in retail, they were ridiculous for you.
Yeah.
For some reason, there was Christmas this year.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
That really threw me
Boxing
for a
Day,
curveball.
New Year's
We had
Day.
everything planned to a T, and then all these public holidays.
Yeah, and
came
then
up.
like Christmas, I'm like, man, I thought we were skipping it this year. Then I had a son,
Leap day.
which you probably can hear him crying now because he's having the shits today. So as a result,
That'll mess things up a lot.
100%.
A new child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that really throws things back. But we had all this content planned. We had all these games come to us that we couldn't do anything with
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe.
because I had a son.
And I work 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
So Dylan was all out of this. He's like, man, I do movies. I got nothing to do with these games.
Don't want to play them anyway.
So we're going to go through quickly a bunch of the games that we were meant to review.
Quick fire reviews.
At the end of last year. Like these are things we wanted to get done, but sadly due to life being just mental, we couldn't get through them.
Because unfortunately, where we are now, we can't do this full time.
No, because we do other things to pay.
Because we
for
have
things.
mortgages and stuff.
We do indeed. So let's kick things off with probably one of the biggest ones to come out of December is The Last Guardian.
Well,
So after 10 years in the making, The Last Guardian finally came into everyone's hands about the first week of December. It's like the third to come out from Team Ico, which is now known as Gen Studios, as well as Japan Studio. In short,
we got to keep these short.
okay.
Yeah?
In short, this game is incredibly beautiful in moments. The relationship between the boy and the bird dog or Trico is beautiful. Like with just no real dialogue because they both don't really talk to each other. You can just get you can get everything you need from the emotion without talking. Like you can see the friendship building as you progress.
Yeah.
However, it controls as our friend Charlie said, it controls like gastro. Like it's just
sloppy.
It's inconsistent, it's messy, and you don't want anything to do with it.
And you don't want to give it to anybody else.
Look,
Can confirm, yeah, because you actually let me play it today in preparation for this, and they're just shit controls. I mainly...
What do you do though? What controls do you have?
Well, it's essentially left analog stick to move and right analog stick to control.
So standard.
Do you jump? Do you traverse things?
You got jumping, and that's all actually fine.
Oh, but we should mention...
biggest issue... Hang on, let me get to this stuff. The biggest issue was the camera. These days you rotate a camera like in, I don't know, a shooter. Don't hate me. But you know how it's one speed instantly and stops instantly?
Yeah.
It's that starts slow, then speeds up, and then slows down kind of thing. And it's for this kind of game with like platforming and stuff... It's really awkward.
And the problem is, like, with the way the controller is laid out and the way you play it, you can tell this game has taken 10 years to make. You can tell...
Triangle is jump.
Yeah. Triangle is jump, X is to climb
X is
down from
always
things.
jump, come on.
Yeah. So, like, it's
messing with your head.
the controls are shaped around an older gen platform that... It's insane why...
But
they've
PlayStation
got
always
this.
had the same buttons.
Yeah.
Like, we made PlayStation 3 controllers.
No, but the point
dude.
is, like, in PlayStation, like, in the generation of PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, they were actually, mostly PlayStation 2, I should say, they were the standard. Like, triangle was jump, for some reason. And then, as like, more games developed, people were like, that's really dumb.
That's inconvenient.
Jump moved around to square, and then it moved around to X.
Yeah.
Like, as game development progressed, rather than X just being interact with everything.
Yeah.
Open things.
So the time you spent with it so far, was it worth the wait?
See, for me, I never had the anticipation of the game. Like, I wasn't eagerly awaiting the 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it has moments where, like, I just want to know more about it. I want to see more about Trico and the boy, and I want to really get in. I've already put, 3 or 4 hours into it.
Getting there is a slog.
It's painful.
Yeah.
And, like, because every time that I want to do something, like, it's pulling me in this best way possible, it shuts me off with these shitty controls that just make the game... not unplayable, but it makes it a pain.
Yeah,
and then for some reason, which you can't turn off, even though you've been playing for 4 hours, it'll still flash up and tell you how to pick up things.
Ooh. Well, you never know.
Yeah, in case I forget.
Haven't picked up
Well,
anything.
to jump off that, a game that really gives you no hints at all? Super Mario Maker.
Oh, yeah!
I got that mid-December, the worst possible time to give me a game to play.
So we should mention as well that thanks to PlayStation, we did get a copy of The Last
Yeah,
Guardian.
of course. And thank you, Nintendo, for Super Mario Maker.
Yeah, 100%.
So for the 3DS, not the Wii U, because that came out ages ago. So I didn't play the Wii U version, so I don't really have any benchmark to compare it to. But it's pretty much, for me anyway, it's like, here you go. Figure it the fuck out. I got you to play a level that I made, which was really junky, because I have no level design skills.
I cheated, went straight to Bowser at the end.
Yeah, you end up just flying up to the end and that's what you had in there. But there's a lot to do. Like every block you see in a Mario game is you can place. Every sound effect that there is, you can put like a trick.
Is there a limit though? Like you can only have 5
Not that I've
mushrooms
seen
to that
so
level,
far.
Or you just need mushrooms everywhere.
Not that I've seen so
Like
far.
there will be a maximum storage space. Like you can only use so many assets because you'll run out of room.
But that's a lot.
Okay.
You can set up sound triggers, so you pass a certain point and a certain sound trigger plays. Like when you enter Bowser's Lair, it goes da 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 da. You can place that sound effect around it and stuff. And what's really cool is switching between all 4 generations of Mario on the fly. You hit a button and it just wipes the screen and it's in that graphic style, and that's really awesome.
Which is quite
And
impressive.
does Mario even change, sorry?
He
Yeah,
does,
everything. Which is really quite impressive because there is such a visual difference between, say, Super Mario Bros. On like the NES compared to like the Wii style graphics.
And it changes it in 2 seconds. Everything, and
it runs just as smoothly.
Yeah.
And like there's no you think maybe there would be a slight. Like it'd be a bit smoother on, say, the older one because it's not as graphically demanding, but it's designed in such a way that it runs fluidly.
What does it look like when you've got because you use power-ups, right?
Yeah.
So the new suits, like the
That's what I was about to say. So even with the new assets that weren't in previous games, they've made models for them in the style of the older games, and it's really cool. I did have a jump online as well to play other people's levels. People are fucked, man. I couldn't pass any of them.
Yeah.
I only tried a few, but I went looking for the really hard ones. You see people play on YouTube and stuff, and it's chaotic fun, man. I had heaps of fun with it.
Speaking of chaotic fun, we move on to our next one, which is thanks to Ubisoft. They sent us a copy of Watch Dogs 2. It's the sequel to the not very well loved Watch Dogs, as the name suggests. This one is set in San Francisco. It's a bunch of more hipster style hackers. Hackers, which
I guess they are.
people with mobile
Oh man, if I hear the word hack again, look, I love this game. This game is so good. It's bright. It's colourful. Set in San Francisco. Like unlike Watch Dogs 1,
It's got a good sense of humour to it.
yeah.
As well.
So in Watch Dogs 1, it was Chicago, but I guess I didn't really have a reference point for Chicago, and it just felt dark and gloomy and kind of shitty. Where this is bright, colourful. It knows what it is. Like it's essentially it's a big open world. There's 3 islands, so it's very GTA that way. But I get when you're making a game that's in the same realm as GTA, you will always be inferior. Unless you are Rockstar, there will always be something about your open world that
Rockstar does better.
That Rockstar does better.
Yeah.
Now, what makes this game different is its hacking ability. So as you're driving around, if you're being chased by police, you can just blow up the road. You can trigger all green lights so cars just go
Blow
across.
up the road.
Yeah.
What kind of hacking
There's
is that?
The whole idea is that everything is under this thing called CTOS. So it's this OS that runs literally everything. Everything. Lights, traffic, gates, doors, other cars, people's phones.
It's all linked to the one giant, Skynet, the one network.
Yeah.
Down, that's the truth.
Yeah, and that's the trick. The whole story of it is them trying to bring that down.
They want to bring down the network by using that.
Yeah. They have to buy
They're using the network, but for good.
Yeah.
Look, I think I loved it so much because it came out in a time where I hadn't really sat down with a good open world for a while, but not the same open world. I've obviously played Skyrim and that sort of stuff as well. So it's different open world. With this was just fun. It was bright. It was colourful. It was stupid. It gave me the option, which Rockstar and never does. I didn't have to kill anyone.
Yeah.
I could tap. You had the option to.
Do you have guns?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes, because I sat down and watched him play before. He's like, I don't use guns. Okay. When then he proceeds to blow someone up and run them over.
Oh, well,
But he's not using that.
You can't kill people. Well, you're not supposed to. You don't have to kill people.
No,
but you
You don't have
You
to.
don't-
No,
But
I didn't
am
blow them up. There was a transformer on the wall, and I put a stun charge. Yeah, I know. I put a stun charge on it, so as they approach, they get knocked out,
And then you ran.
and not hit the car.
But you didn't shoot them.
No, but
that's the key fact.
They probably didn't die. They're just injured.
Yeah, so there's a lot of I've seen people get hit by cars and not die all the time.
I did it yesterday.
One of the best. One of the best things about it is because you have like a what are they called?
A drone.
A drone. You have a drone and a little RC car, so you can. Yeah, because you have a hat.
Oh, you do have a hat, then, right?
You do have a hat, yeah. So you can use them to infiltrate buildings without you actually getting near it.
Keep
So you
your
can
identity.
literally sit in the bushes outside, which is creepy when I say it, with your laptop and that you can just go in there and hack a building, get what you need, and get out without actually entering the
Does
building.
it transform or is it just a drone? Or can you
It's a
wheel it
fold-out
around?
thing.
But does it wheel around as well?
No.
Yeah, so there's an RC car and a
Yeah,
drone.
that's what
There's
it
two
was,
different things.
Yeah.
It was the game that I needed then that I didn't know I needed, and
Yeah.
that made it so much better.
I thought it was fun. My big, because I had some time with that today as well. My biggest gripe overall with what I saw so far was just the cars just don't control great. Like with GTA, just for sake of comparison, because it's the easiest comparison, every car has its weight, it has its handling, it has its speed, it all feels very natural to the kind of car you're in. You know, vans take a long time to take off, accelerate. Sports cars just fly and drift and all that. And every car I tried in this just handled the same. Whether I was in a van, a truck, or a Mazda 3. They all just handled the same, and it...
Yeah. Look, it's fine. It sucks because it's one of the key modes of transport, but it's fine.
yeah.
It's nice, dumb,
fine.
and stupid. Now, another thing, speaking of Skyrim, which we mentioned before, the special edition came out, and we both picked it up, but we
Yeah.
didn't really talk about it.
No, because I've played it for one session.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I
2
got
hours.
so back into it.
I remade my character that I made in the past, which was a Khajiit archer, stealth archer. Played it for about 2 hours, went, that's sick, and I haven't touched it
You
since.
can't carry things across. You save games.
No.
So,
Yeah, so...
but, graphically, it's a noticeable difference, yeah. It did exactly what it said to do. Here's the game as it was, looks better.
Yeah, and I got straight into it again. It was one of those. It was a drug that I forgot that I had access to. So going in it was brand new. Then I had the VR as well, so I was playing it in cinematic mode for that added just the novelty.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that building looks genuinely huge. And I was like, what's a monster? Because I sped a
hey,
little
look, a
too
dragon.
fast. That was really cool. Another one that you've been playing, you put a lot of hours into, is Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, man. I actually messaged you the other night. I said, I just had one of the best moments I've had in gaming for fucking years. And it was just a side quest. No overall impact on the story. It's just, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I had the best time with the best payoff. I said to you earlier, it has that sense of scale to your enemies. You know, a lot of games, you're little and your enemy's big and you go, whoa, that's big, but they've really nailed that sense of scale in this game. You know, there are big enemies and that make you kind of go, it seems impossible. It's like, how am I going to take that down?
You hack at its knees mostly.
No, you've got your main character Noctis has the warp ability where you phase around.
Oh, hiccups.
And yeah, once you start chaining your attacks, you can warp higher and higher and to get higher up and stuff. My biggest gripe with it when it was announced was the fact that they're not using turn-based combat anymore, which is my jam.
We've already done that for the last.
They've
two
done
or
it for the
three
last
games.
couple, and I haven't played them for that reason. It's opt for real-time combat, but it's fucking awesome. It seems so simple on the surface, but it is so fleshed out, the combat system. It's blown me away. It's amazing. And the cool thing is while you're questing and you're out in the world doing all your side missions and stuff, gorgeous open world, by the way, is that you don't get any of your EXP until nighttime occurs and you actually go to bed, where you set up camp for the night, because at nighttime all the demons come out and it's a lot harder.
So you can farm a bit more XP
Yeah.
overnight.
So, and what you asked me when I said is, can you try to survive the night and get an extra bonus the next day? Yes, you can.
Oh.
So it's like a risk and reward thing. I'm not sure. I haven't had a game over yet, so I don't know if you lose that experience that you've banked. But if you go to bed on the first night that occurs, you get 1.2 times the experience in a campsite. But then you can continue through the night without sleeping and go through the next day, and you get another bonus to your experience the next
Do
night.
you have
Do you dreams?
get tired?
Yeah.
No, nothing like that.
That's dumb.
No, but you get
How long's the night?
one of your friends are cooks and they have revitalizing meals, kind of a thing. It's all explained.
So you loved it?
I love it.
Okay. Can I say, before you speak of something else, does it bring you back to your childhood when you're playing Final Fantasy games? Does it bring you that itch?
It has
Scratch that itch?
It has the vibe of a Final Fantasy game. I haven't felt this way about a game world in a Final Fantasy universe since probably number 8. which was the first one I played.
And 2, in this day and age where we're all adults and we can, if we want, waste our money on constant video games, or we get games and you kind of play it for 2 hours, goes on the back burner, even if it's an incredible game. Is this the kind of one like when you used to buy a game and it was your game for a year or 6 months?
This is pretty much my game either until Horizon comes out or the Switch is launched.
So still a couple of months.
Because other than Horizon coming out, there's not a lot on my radar. So I'm in it for the long haul with this game.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think the best thing I've got with this game is that normally when I love a game, I'll play it for 6-7 hours for 5 days and go, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm only managing to play it for maybe an hour and a half every 2 days. So it's still keeping it fresh and still keeping me excited, and I'm not getting burnt out. So I'm going to try to continue that.
Yeah, chip away at it.
Seeing it has to last me for about 5-6 weeks.
So the reason that I asked about whether you can sleep, because the game that I was playing as well, which was Farming Simulator, you can't sleep in that game. So the whole idea was like, I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to bust my ass during the day, I'm going to harvest those fields, going to put the manures on them, it'll be fucking sick. And then I'm like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, can I go to bed? No.
So what do you do?
I just keep farming.
Keep farming through the night?
I just farm through the night. Like this person's like on
Is
like
the reveal
speed.
at the end of the game that you're actually farming a farming equipment machine?
I think it reveals that you have an incredible methamphetamine addiction.
That's what those fields are.
Doesn't go down, right?
And sun goes down. Like the world changes, but you just can't physically go to bed.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So it's really weird. But other than that, the game is great. Like it's the farming that I wanted. Obviously, what I wanted more was like Stardew Valley, but this was still really good. And you know,
it's a different itch. Yeah?
It's a different itch. Yeah, it was a bit more real, a bit more extra level. So rather than just being like plant seeds, water them, and there's a thing like you plant them, you have to sow the field. There's like extra. Like there's like 5 stages more. Yeah. And so that's like, look, I'm really enjoying that. That's like it's pretty good.
Having said that, if you give that game a bit more time and the apocalypse happens, I'm going to live with you because you're going to know how to farm properly. Yeah.
And I know how to stay up all night.
Yeah. So like you can just tell me what to do because you're not exactly physical labour man, and I'll do it all, and we just live.
Sounds good. And the final game that I've been playing over the little Christmassy break as well is Rise of the Tomb Raider. It has finally come to PlayStation 4, and
very good things.
It is so good. It's like it's Uncharted, but with a lady, but with open worlding and crafting.
Yeah, okay.
So like, in the same open world as, say, Final Fantasy or, like, Watch Dogs, it has small moments where it becomes a little open world.
Like multiple ways to do
things. It's like little caged-off areas. It's bad. That sounds bad, but, like, it's a linear story. You come into an area that's open, you can mess around in there, and then you can veer off where it goes very linear, then to an open world again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that way. So you get that sense of open world, and you can go in there and you can do your hunting, and you can get do more. Like you can build a better bow, you can work on your costumes, that sort of stuff.
So it's like a more of like a Far Cry Primal element to it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's really good. Like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, what I should mention as well is every game that we've listed so far is PlayStation Pro supported.
Ooh.
See how I brought it all together there by accident?
Well done.
Wow, Mario Maker's PlayStation.
Super Mario Maker, of course. I forgot we mentioned that.
You heard it here first.
So, because I've got PlayStation 4 Pro here, it runs so well. Everything is better thanks to, it could just be my TV, but thanks to my TV, as well as the HDR support and that on the PlayStation, everything looks better. Like, the menus even look better. Like, Netflix looks brighter and more colourful and vivid. And, there are, depending on the game, is how it's used differently. So in Tomb Raider, as an example, you can have a 4K mode where everything runs at 30 frames per second, but in 4K, or you can have a high frame rate, which will run at like 1080p with an uncapped frame rate, or 1080p with super sampling. Okay. So you've got 3 choices. In Farming Simulator, it can either run it at 4K, or you can run it at 1080 with better draw distances, which is one thing that game really sorely lacks. The draw distance is fucking horrendous. And Last Guardian makes it bigger, better, and actually runs smoother on the Pro than it does the PS4.
Interesting.
Well, again, as we mentioned, Watch Dogs runs at 1440p instead of the 1080, and it does also handle a little bit better in really quite intensive scenes.
What about Skyrim?
Skyrim runs full 4K, native 4K, not like 1440 upscaled. Full 4K, it is beautiful, it runs smooth. Because that game's 5 years old. There's no reason why it should be running that well. Well, it should be running that well, I should say. But yeah, that's everything that we were meant to review, but didn't.
So we've
now
caught
we
up.
have.
Clean slate for 2020. That's it. Done
So
and
come
dusted.
July, we'll be like, this is everything we didn't do in the last 6 months. But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
Josh Saunders.
Dylan Bud.
We'll start fresh. Oh, pew.